What is going on, everyone? It is John again, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new update that was released by Bethesda on the PC version of Fallout just a few days ago. Now, this currently isn't available on PS4 or Xbox One yet, but in the patch notes it does state that it will be arriving later this week. In the video, we will be going over all the new features that have been added to the game, including some only for the PC specifically, along with a few gameplay fixes that have been implemented to help with workshops and companions, along with quite a few quest fixes as well for those who might be having issues finishing certain missions. I will only be covering what I think is the main updates to the game, and will be breaking this video up under each section that I just talked about to make it easier to understand, and I will also be leaving the full article in the description for those who are interested in maybe reading for a little more detail. So starting off with the new features that have been implemented in the game, the PC got quite a few adjustments, including a brand new ambient feature called HBAO+. Now this will allow users to see shadows to a more significant degree and create a more realistic scene with extra depth and detail. Now it is quite disappointing that we won't be getting this feature for consoles, but I do understand it will be difficult for the hardware to handle. The PC version of the game will also be receiving new weapon debris effects for Nvidia cards. Now I'm assuming this will just be another graphic update allowing weapons to show a more realistic display of the gravel or sand after it has been shot at. Some new features that were added to the consoles as well is a new status menu for settlers in your settlement. Now this, I'm guessing, will just give you the ability to see where the settler is stationed or what their job is in the community. It's not really something that I had an issue with myself, but it is a cool new feature to actually have. They will also be adding the ability to rotate items that you pick up off the ground by using the right and left triggers, and then when you press down on the left thumbstick, it will allow you to switch the axis you are turning on. Now this will only apply to objects on the ground and not the things that you are inspecting in your Pip-Boy, since we basically already are allowed to do that. So moving on to gameplay fixes, now this list is quite extensive, so I will try to do my best to summarize the key things to point out to you. Now I am glad to hear that companions will no longer get stuck with radiation poisoning, which was a big problem that I was having. I had 2 companions go down on me after visiting the glowing sea because they were still taking damage even after leaving that area. So that has since been fixed, which is great to hear. They also fixed quite a few perks, including Big Leagues, which adds damage to melee weapons. Apparently it wasn't calculating the damage properly, and it was giving people less damage than it should. It has now been fixed, and your melee character should receive a little buff. The second rank of Aqua Boy has been adjusted as well. This allowed you to become completely hidden from enemies while underwater. People seem to be having issues and should be working properly now. The last update to perks was the Robotics Expert, which was allowing you to control robots, but while in combat the perk was not working correctly, but since then has been adjusted. McCready's Killshot perk has also been adjusted. This is the perk you receive after you have fully befriended him. The headshot percentage was not working properly and now should be working fine for those who actually use him. I have no experience with using his perk since I never use him as a companion, so I cannot tell you exactly what was wrong with it. Another companion related issue was that when you gave them a suit of power armor, they sometimes would just get stuck in it and you could never use it again. So for those that have had this problem, make sure you look for your suit of armor and after you receive the patch so you can get it back again. Quick warning though, this next part does have some spoilers in it. It requires you to do something with Curie's quest line, so if you don't want to hear anything about it, skip ahead into the video. So after you've gone through the transformation with her, the game will not allow users to apply Stimpaks to her after she has gone down. I'm glad to hear that that has been fixed because I love using her and it got really annoying waiting for her every time. The last thing I'd like to say about gameplay fixes was I guess players were having a problem and were becoming completely dismembered while still alive. They have actually addressed this issue now and you should not have to worry about it anymore. Moving on over to quest-based issues, for those actually going with the Minutemen, you might have noticed during the mission Taking Independence, and this is where you storm the castle for the first time and defeat the Mirelurk Queen. After the battle, the remaining Minutemen wouldn't gather back at the castle. All of mine died, so it was really never a problem for me, but for those new players, this issue has been addressed. After you've had the castle as a settlement for a while, I guess Synths would sometimes still attack it even after you became friends with the Institute. That will no longer happen, and your factions can now live in peace. Another companion-related issue was Dogmeat was getting stuck at Fort Hagen after you had completed the mission Reunion, and I'm sure many of you now will be pleased that you can actually get your trusted companion back. Moving on to the mission Underground Undercover, players were having issues completing it since Desdemona would not let them talk to her afterwards. So once the update comes out, you can finally complete this mission. Another spoiler ahead, this one is relating to the railroad line, so skip ahead if you don't want to know. When trying to complete the mission, the end of line, it wasn't allowing some players to kill the leaders of the railroad. Now that this has been fixed, you can decide what faction you really want to go with. Something that was really annoying me was the repeating of Minutemen quests. It was continually popping up on my screen, or Preston would tell me to do something that I already done. This shouldn't be an issue anymore, but most people don't choose the Minutemen line anyways. If you chose to become enemies with the Brotherhood of Steel, sometimes this would also affect the Railroad and will not let you return to their HQ. Now you can leave the Brotherhood and still be friends with the Railroad if you choose to do so. For those having an issue with getting Hancock as a companion, after you completed the mission, The Big Dig, you should be prompted to meet Hancock himself, and he will offer to be your companion and help you with the Silver Shroud quest. Bethesda has fixed this issue that the quest was receiving, so players should be able to travel with Hancock now without a problem. In the mission Human Error, which can be found at the Covenant, if you killed Honest Dan during the mission, sometimes it would not let the mission complete properly. You can also get unlimited bottle caps during this mission for those that are interested, so check out my video on that. So the last few updates we have are regarding the workshops, and they actually include a bug that many players seem to be encountering regarding the settler count when hovering over a settlement in the Pip-Boy. The numbers seem to fluctuate for me all the time, so now I can actually properly track where my companions are. There was also an issue with supply lines and settlements with a larger population. The game is not allowing players to set them up, so now this should be resolved. For those who bought the home in Diamond City, you will notice that it wouldn't allow you to build workshop benches. They have added that ability into the menu now, so you shouldn't have any problems from here. They have also improved the snapping ability while in workshop mode, and hopefully that has also added corner snapping features because I'm tired of lining up walls myself. It's also good to note that the building wires no longer will use copper, and since this material is hard to find anyways, you should be able to use it to build more useful things with it. I also noticed that I could never get my settlements to be fully happy even when everything that I needed was met. Bethesda has now adjusted the happiness calculator, and it should be a little easier to get that achievement. And last on the list was how companions basically ignored your commands while in a workshop area. When trying to use Dogmeat to duplicate items, he would never seem to listen to me recently. Of course, Bethesda wasn't trying to make this easier, it's just a problem that every companion seemed to be having. So that is all the key points that I wanted to cover on the recent patch notes. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you'd like to read them yourself, I will leave a link in the description where you can find it. Now I'm sure many of you are wondering about the Dogmeat duplication glitch and whether or not it still is working. Now Bethesda never includes information like this in their notes, so I can't know for sure until the patch actually comes out for Xbox, so I can try it out myself. I do have a good feeling though that it will be patched, and if it is, then I will definitely try my best to bring you alternative methods as soon as possible. Well, that is basically everything I have to say regarding the latest Fallout 4 patch. I hope this video helped you guys out in some formal way, and please leave a like if you did enjoy. So thanks for watching, and as always, have a wonderful day.